All right, what's good, y'all? So I'm gonna say it now, just in case this is the only video I have of this year of 2024. But happy New Year's to y'all. Definitely appreciate everybody that's come through the channel, everybody that I've seen on my Instagram, everybody, whether it's fans, people are just checking it out, haters, everybody. I appreciate it. It's been a great year for me. Definitely learned a lot. Even though I've been on YouTube for a while, there's always room to learn. I realized I learned a lot this year, and I'm taking it to 2025. It's been a great year, and it's only going to get better. I'm looking forward to the crazy, amazing year of 2025 for us here on YouTube on IronAngel. But again, thank y'all. I appreciate it. And now, this might be the last video of 2024. Don't know. Y'all know how I am. I could post one or maybe 3 videos in a day, maybe 4. For those who've been around for a while, you know how I am. But I've reacted to their video of the 10. What was it? I think it was 10 worst games of 2024. I think it was 10 worst. I did a video with them with GamerX, and I'll post this one too in the, my description. But now I want to get into what they think their best games of 2024 is. I ain't going front. As much as there's been a lot of bad games, there's been a lot of good ones as well. Stellar Blade, I thought, was one. Wulong. I mean, this ain't a new game, but I was happy they did it when they brought the Marvel's Capcom collection. When they brought that, I thought that was amazing. Even though I haven't played the game in 17 years. Like I said, long story short, I won a tournament. I was 16. And ever since then, I played a little bit after that. Then I stopped. It's been like 17 years. But I've still got the game. I'm nowhere. I'm trash now at the game. But it was still a great feeling to get it just for memory's sake. So I think that was one of the best games this year. Again, I know it's not a new one, but considering they put it all together, I thought it was still new in a way. But there's some other ones in there too. Let me know in the comment section what y'all opinions of the best. Let's get 10, because this one they don't have a list like a top 10. They just say best games of 2024. So I don't know how many they're gonna go. But let me know in the comment section what are your, we'll say 5, so that way the comments ain't too long. What's your 5 greatest games of this year? Yeah, let me know, because I'm thinking like, what's my 5? Let me know in the comments what's y'all top 5. Anyway, let's see what GamerX chooses here. I ain't gonna front. Some of those games that was on their worst list, I've never heard of before. But there were some that I did hear and I agreed 100%. Excuse me. Suicide Squad, for example. I was shocked they did not put Star Wars in there. I thought that was one of the worst games of the year. But, you know, everybody has their opinion. Anyway, let's see what they have. I'll put the original video in the description below.
Hey folks, Jake Baldino here to talk about the best games of 2024, our GameRanks picks. And yes, we're here in the office. We use sometimes. Last time we were here, the ceiling was leaking. Now, some of the lights aren't working, but the show must go on. So, if I look a little ghostly, that's the reason. But we have 10 games.
Oh, so they're going for 10, okay.
We used to do big award shows and stuff like that, but you know what? We're GameRanks. What do we do here? We rank the games, all right?
Nice and simple. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever said. In all seriousness, though, we are keeping it simple.
Yep, I'm playing that right now, as a matter of fact.
Some of our favorites of this year. And when I say our favorites, I say the GameRanks video team as a whole. So not just me, but Daniel, Falcon, Kevin, Eric.
I didn't play the Daniels. I heard that was good.
Everyone behind the scenes. So don't just.
I have it on Game Pass. I just haven't put time to play it yet.
Choices, some of our words, our thoughts. And just think of it as game recommendations.
Ooh, I gotta play that, bro.
If you hate them,
a friend of mine literally told me I'm missing out. It's just been I've been so busy.
A lot of cool games to talk about this year, so let's get started off with the
right now. I'm playing Metaphor.
Black Myth Wukong. Yes,
yeah,
we're giving
saw that coming.
Some recognition.
Stellar Blade should be on there too.
Fun, straight up action game that gets bigger and crazier as you go through it. You know, the combat isn't like the most complex thing in the world, but it has really cool moments. The game has some incredible boss battles with really
and it looks straight up beautiful, bro.
And memorable moments, and also just the fact that it's based on an old, you know, Chinese mythology, like Chinese classical novel, Journey to the West. That in and of itself is unique. We talk so much about remakes, sequels, reboots. This is just its own nice, genuine thing.
Yeah, they took their time to make this game too.
Just jump into that world, not really know a lot, and learn as you go. The graphics are killer. The soundtrack is killer. It's just like a really good, lengthy,
it's a full game
ride. Now, the GameRanks team's next pick is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. We want
to
give credit to this one because this dropped very early in
Wow.
2024, and it's.
I didn't play it. I played the older Prince of Persia, but I heard a lot of bad things about this game.
This is one of the best games to release this year.
I mean, to each his own. This is their opinion. It's just when this game came out, a lot of people was talking bad about it. I can't say nothing because I didn't play it.
Which had 2D platformer roots. So what you have here is really good exploration, great 2D platform.
I enjoyed the older Prince of Persia
Metroidvania style
from back in the day.
But also some surprisingly tight combat and navigation. The movement, the controls, everything here is extremely tight, and it just makes it thrilling and surprisingly challenging to play through. Look, I know the Prince of Persia brand at this point is kind of all over the place, and Ubisoft is fumbling all over the place.
Yes.
But with these little
I hope they
smart
bounce back
choices
though.
And these kind of smaller
and I'm waiting for my
games,
Splinter
it
Cell
just seemed like
game.
it
I'm
was
a
the right
huge
move
Splinter
for
Cell
Prince of
fan.
Persia. I want a new warrior within as much as the next guy, but we really had a hell of a good time playing through this here. This was like one of the most agreed upon games.
I like these platformer
Next
games.
up on our list, the big Jeff Keighley Game Awards, they had a cutoff date for games releasing, so December games didn't really squeeze into their votes, but our show doesn't matter, so we're counting new stuff like Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Is it a little bit of recency bias by us? Maybe, but Machine Games' newest.
It looks good. I just didn't put the time into it yet, but I heard great things about it.
Awesome. It's like an actually good movie tie-in game that captures the feel and essence of Indiana Jones. It's also a surprisingly lengthy and deep game. There's a lot going on here. Really detailed, dense worlds to explore that don't feel like they're just filled with fluff or padding. Everything here contributes to the story, the world building, or just the feeling of Indiana Jones. Like the side quests kind of blend into the main quests, and it's just really, really
I do wish the whole game was third person, but I like the switching back and forth.
Hand-to-hand combat, yes, but incredibly satisfying.
Because the
Really
combat I
sound
wish was in
effects,
third
visuals,
person.
physics.
Just my preference.
You know,
Doesn't
all kinds of hijinks in
make
this.
it bad.
It's
I just my
perfectly
preference.
Indiana Jones, and we were just really genuinely surprised by how solid and awesome this game really is. And to bring it personal for a second, for me, it's what I love. It's a regular old-fashioned video game. It's an adventure you play through, cool action, cool cutscenes, no microtransactions, no bullshit, and it's just fun. Next up, this one might be out of left field for some of you, but consider it a big recommendation. Balatro. Can we get a hell yeah in the chat?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Is that why you didn't finish that video the other day? Because you're addicted to the...
Okay, how about you off?
The game that probably ate up people's time the most here in 2024, believe it or not, was this simple little card game, Balatro, across Steam.
I've never heard of this.
PS5 versions. A lot of us here have dumped like hundreds of hours into this, and it seems like there's no end in sight. Balatro's addicting roguelike gameplay has kept us all coming back to it all year, and we don't see ourselves slowing down anytime soon. And
What's
that's
the
crazy
point of it?
considering,
Like, what do you
also
like?
Hasn't had any like
I gotta look
major
it up.
insane updates or anything like that. It's just the raw gameplay is that good. From its addictive gameplay to the entrancing music and visual effects, there is so much to love about Balatro, and like we think it 110% deserves a spot on our Game of the Year list. Look, smaller games, like kind of like games that look like mobile games, we dunk on them but like we also show respect when they're solid and good. We've awarded Game of the Year recognition.
Yeah, I gotta research. I like playing card games, so
quirkier games before in the past.
I've
and
never heard of this
Balatro
before,
is
though.
Definitely the one this year. You might look at it and just think that's all it is, but give it a shot. There's a reason why so many people are hooked on this game. Also, we all hate math here, and Balatro found a way to kind of make math fun. So I feel like that's right there. Good job, guys. Next up on our list is Metaphor Refantasio.
Yes, that's what I'm playing right now.
JRPG classic. That's what this thing is going to be considered.
Like behind the camera, I'm not
Folks
recording
behind
anything.
it.
I'm just playing for
While
myself.
It carries a lot of the energy and some of the design ideas.
Right now, I'm playing this like off camera, no recording, even because y'all know I play a lot of games and recording for y'all. This one, I'm playing Witcher 3 over again from the beginning, just before Witcher 4 comes out, and I'm playing another playthrough of Cyberpunk. So I'm very busy off the camera when I'm not playing recording wise.
Of the
But I'm
Persona
enjoying
games
this
that they
game
made
so
before,
far. I'm
is
on
its
this one
own
right
new
now.
thing. And I honestly think it's
One day I
weird
play
because
this,
of
then the next day I go to
if you
Witcher, the
haven't
next
played
day
the
I do
Persona
Cyberpunk,
games, but
and
you
I
wanna
just
catch
repeat it.
some of this creative team's energy. Metaphor Refantasio is a really, really creative and fun RPG.
And I've never played a
that is
game like this
lengthy,
before.
has
This
a
is new for me. I never really played
incredible world
Persona.
and some really cool characters, but also a story that actually tries to say some things. You know, it actually attempts to do something a little bit more than just what on the surface looks like medieval fantasy. There's a lot more going on. But the visual style, they're crazy.
Yeah, I like the
over-the-top
style.
menus, cutscenes, all this crazy stuff. The character designs, the enemy designs, the music, every single thing with Metaphor is 100% unique. And you'll notice there's a trend this year. Unique is kind of the thing we keep saying, because we play a lot of games here, we check out a lot of games, and sometimes it's the stuff that stands out the most and really sticks in our brains, sticks in our memory, that makes it all really worthwhile, and Metaphor is definitely one of those examples. Next up on our list, completely switching gears, Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2.
Yeah, that's the one I missed out on. I gotta play
this
that.
year the standout was very unique.
I love games like
Space
this.
Marine
I was
2
enjoying watching
is
other people play. I gotta
special
play it
in
for
how
myself.
It feels like a throwback. You know, it feels like something we'd play on Xbox 360 or PS3, just a straightforward, awesome sci-fi shooter adventure in third person. It's
Very
action-packed,
simple,
it's
but like I
gory,
say,
it's
simple
over
is
the top, and the
sometimes
campaign
needed.
is incredible.
Just 'cause
For
it's
some
simple
of us
doesn't mean
here,
it's
it kind of
bad.
served as a gateway drug into the world of Warhammer 40k, which that right there, I think the game deserves commendation alone. But also the fact that not only a cool, fun, entertaining, kind of classic style single player adventure campaign, but also some great multiplayer modes that we've kept going back to.
Warhammer 2 is so good that I went out and I bought Warhammer miniatures and have been painting them.
That's crazy. Next up on our list, Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. Yep, we're going with this one. It was one of our most anticipated.
I hope Stellar Blade gets it. That
It's
was a really
shame
good
that
game.
It launched in the state that
Outside
it
of the
did.
obvious pretty girl,
In its rough
pretty
shape,
woman
it's
look,
still
the game
awesome.
itself was really
It's really
good.
hard to put down.
But I know a lot of
recommended
people like it
before
because of
you
how the
buy it
character is,
and
which ain't nothing wrong with
going
that.
forward,
But I'm
it's
talking about
only
as a
better.
game,
We always find
it's
ourselves
really
wanting
good.
to hunt down one more artifact or loot one more stash. GSC Game Worlds here.
I never got
has
into
really
Stalkers.
been
Is that good? Is
also
that something I
hard at
should
work
do?
Trying to fix the game.
Never played
make
them.
it better.
Always paid it,
And
saw
I
it, but
know
never
sometimes
gave it
we really
attention.
do not tolerate games that launch undercooked or half baked. But again, I think Stalker 2 felt so good, even in its rough state, that it was worth sticking through with. And some fans haven't even minded the bugginess at all because it's kind of what we expected. But as we sit here talking about this, the 110 gigabyte 1.1 update is installing in the background, which seems like it's also going to fix quite a lot of things. They've been listening to community and fan feedback, and that's good. Also, another big takeaway from Stalker 2 is yes, it's a compelling kind of hardcore style game that we don't see as often as we used to, but also the fact that it does feel like a good foundation for the future, for mods and crazy things to happen with this game. Because where the original games were like a lightning rod.
This is so
for that,
random, but
we're
I'm
hoping
looking
that
forward to
Stalker
a new
2
Far Cry
has a
game.
bright future as well.
Hopefully-
It's
hopefully they
cool,
do it right,
sweaty,
but
it's
yeah.
definitely not for every player, but if you're a hardcore PC gamer, give it a shot. Next up, one you may not have heard of, it's called Nine Souls. This is from developer Red Candle
No.
Games. Some of us
Haven't
here
heard
have
of
been
it.
following since their 2017 debut, Detention. Their other games were a little different, but this, their third title, is an intense side-scrolling action game heavily influenced by things like Hollow Knight and Sekiro. It's really good. Somehow for their first action game, they nailed it. The combat is intense, the controls are really responsive, and the difficulty is, we'll admit, extremely high, but it always feels fair. The storytelling is more engaging than you usually get in this type of game. The Towpunk quote-unquote setting is fascinating, the characters are charmingly written, and the bad guys are pretty hateable. The way it's all presented is fantastic too. The animated cutscenes,
one hit, it
manga
took half
style
his life.
story panels just are done with so much love and attention here that they don't feel cheap or rushed. Also, the music is really good, and that helps when you're dying a million times and hearing it over and over again. It's that good. Like we said, this is a Sekiro-like, so parrying is the bread and butter, but it's so responsive, we never really felt like we were whiffing parries when we should be hitting them. And every death, and there were a lot of them, it felt like it was on us. Like we said, it's hard, really hard, but it very rarely feels unfair or cheap. So overcoming adversity and finally beating a really tough boss is just really satisfying. Clearly, these guys get action games, and while on the surface it looks unconventional, man, when you dive into this thing, this is a full,
I like these games.
challenging video game meal. Now, down to our final two, Astrobot. Astrobot is just a great
I heard that won
throwback
awards at
platforming
the Game
celebrating
Awards.
the legacy of PlayStation, and
That won
yeah,
Best Game, I
leaning
mean, at
pretty
the Game
heavily
Awards.
on that nostalgia, but also just being a
I can't say I agree or disagree. I never played it. Heard great things about it, but I ain't gonna front. I was a little surprised in one game of the year, considering all the other games that come out. Wulong, for example.
The theme levels from a haunted
But
house
hey,
to a casino.
I didn't hear any
to a
back.
beach,
Oh, is that
to the
Spyro in the
new
back?
winter update.
Oh, that was
Everything
cool.
is just bursting with
I don't know if y'all saw that, but that was
detail,
Spyro in the back.
and care. And again, it's a family-friendly game, not something that we usually go for here. But this game has infected a lot of our households. The joy of video games has taken over. And you know what? It should be a platformer game that does it, because we don't get enough of these. And I'm still so annoyed.
Hey, I
that
mean,
we
salute to
barely
them for
have
winning
it.
Game
But
of the
I'm
Year.
so happy that Astro is out and it is good enough to really take the crown for some of these, at least in the modern game.
I do like this kind of game, like Ratchet and Clank and all that. I do enjoy that.
Soon, or a Banjo-Kazooie, or a Croc, or a Glover, whoever the hell. At least we have Astrobot. Look, man, if you want your hardcore action games, you know, you're playing your Diablo, you're playing your Stalker, or whatever. But sometimes you just need that good childlike wonderment. Yes, it's probably not for everybody, but for us here, Astrobot really hit. We had like the Grinch heart inside of us, and Astro helped that heart grow. Is that what happened in the Grinch? Did he have like a heart attack? I don't remember that movie. And now one last Game of the Year pick for this year for our big list. It's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Wow, they didn't think Stellar Blade was
like
Astrobot
before it.
on the
There is
list.
a lot of nostalgia in this one. It's a big reason.
I didn't
for
play
this
Final
game.
Fantasy,
Some
but I
of it
did
is
hear
cheap, but a lot
great
of it
things
is
about
also
it.
really,
Honestly,
really
I
well
don't
done. If
know
you're a
much of Final Fantasy. I grew up with it, obviously being talked about. If you're a gamer, you do hear about it. But I never really gave it time to actually learn the franchise. If I did wanted to learn Final Fantasy, because there's a lot of games in that franchise, what's a good game to start with? Do I really have to go straight to the beginning, or is some of these newer ones, can I start there and they'll bring me up to speed? Let me know in the comments.
Lovable,
because now seeing them on Tekken as well with Clive, I was like, dang, those movesets are cool. You get to use that in this game?
Yes, it's really massive, and there is a little bit of like open world padding here and there, but it's an excuse to spend more time in this detailed Final Fantasy world. A world that a lot of us fell in love with back in the 90s, but now back in a big new way. Obviously, there are improvements to the combat and the gameplay from Final Fantasy VII Remake, another one we absolutely loved. But for us here, it was just a really good sequel, a really good continuation. And I mean, especially, of course, the story. Remember, this isn't like a one-to-one remake. Without spoiling anything, it is a really cool and clever reimagining of certain concepts, and just how they take this franchise has been really interesting to see play out, and we're excited to see where it goes next. It left us wanting more. The developers got to take risks, play with the story, play with the concepts. We trusted them with that, and we think they nailed it. And the fact that it gave our boy Zach a ray of hope for a truly happy ending is really just the cherry on top. But that's all we'll say. Those are our top 10 picks, our favorite games of the year. Again, if you weren't listening, it is Black Myth Wukong, Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown,
I'm shocked,
Jones
Black Myth
and the
is number
Great
10.
Circle, Balatro, Metaphor Refantasio, Space Marine 2, Stalker 2, Nine Souls, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Astrobot. But along with that, some bonus ones that we couldn't fit into our main list, some quick honorable
Maybe Stellar Blade
mentions.
being here.
Animal Well. Animal Well is probably the
Never heard of that.
of the year, and for good reason. It's just incredibly well designed with a really, really unique, dreamlike world, hidden puzzles that have driven the community into a frenzy, and it's just a hell of a good time. I played it on Steam Deck. It rules. Also, for me personally, let me squeeze a VR game in here. Batman Arkham Shadow. It's awesome.
wanted to
I know
try
it's a
that.
Quest exclusive. That's a bummer, but
Especially as a
this
Batman
is a full-on
fan.
new Arkham game. While we had a disappointment this year with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League,
Yes.
we got a sequel essentially to Batman Arkham Origins, and they did an incredible job with it. Also, Helldivers 2. Look, for all the ups and downs the community and the developers had with changes, fixes, nerfs, anything like that, the time we spent with it, playing with friends, was an absolute blast. Time we're not going to forget. But like I said, those are our 2024 Game of the Year.
I personally would have put Stellar Blade somewhere in there. Wait, it did come out this year, right? Yeah. Stellar Blade came out 2024. Let me just double check. Yeah, April 2024. I mean, everybody has their opinion. I mean, his list was not terrible or it wasn't bad, but I would have put Stellar Blade in somewhere in there. Like I said, outside of the good-looking woman that a lot of people talk about, the game itself was a lot of fun. I actually want to play it again pretty soon. I heard they made a lot of updates, so I look forward to seeing what that is. But, hey, I respect that. Most of what he said, though, I see. I do want to try that Indiana Jones game. I have it on Game Pass. I got to try it out because I did hear great things about that. And I'm an Indiana Jones fan, even though I don't like that last one they made. But let me know in the comment section what you feel about it. I'll put his video in the description below. And let me know for at least 5. Let me see. What's mine? I can't ask y'all to give me 5. I didn't give 5. In no specific order, Metaphor, Stellar Blade, Wukong. Personally, for me, well, this is my personal list. So, Marvel's Capcom Collector's Edition, Collectors, whatever you want to call it. What should I put in that fifth spot? I said Metaphor. Yes, I did. Does demos count? Because if it was demos, I was about to say 2XKO because I played that Evo, but that don't count. Oh, this literally slipped my head, bro. I honestly have to put this at number one because I'm enjoying the heck out of this game. Marvel Rivals. That came out this year. Yeah, I would put that at number one. But let me know what y'all's in the comments below. All right, I'll see you later.